newer version, we typed this in. The older version, we typed in comma, x, comma, 1, close it. Okay, and they're both going to give me the same answer. They're telling me the derivative at the point 1 is 225. Okay, so what that says is this. It's saying the derivative at the point x value of 1 is 225. And that means the slope would be 225 of my line. All right, let me just write up top here, how do you get to these functions on the calculator? With the newer version, you're going to hit alpha, window, and it's number 3. Both versions, old and new, you could also just hit the word math, the button that says math on it, and then remember that it's number 8. All right, and this one, we typed in this. And remember, if they don't give you parentheses, whatever comes right after the word sine or cosine needs to be in parentheses. And if they wanted you to include x minus 3, they would have put parentheses around the whole thing for you. And then, of course, over here, this version, we typed this in. Comma x, comma 0. In either case, our calculator gave us 0. So we're going to say the derivative of the function at the point 0, when x is 0, is 0, which means the slope of my line, my tangent line, if I were to draw that, would be 0. Now again, equations of tangent lines and normal lines, we talked about this back in the previous chapter, chapter P, so a couple chapters back. We're going to bring those back up again. So now what are we going to do? We're going to take the derivative, which in essence is a slope, and we're going to use the slope, and we're going to use the point that they indicated, and we're going to come up with equations of lines. So remember that when you are trying to find an equation of a tangent line, you're first going to need to know the actual coordinate. So I'm going to write down here, you're always going to need 2 things, a slope and a coordinate, or you can call that a point. If they only give you the x coordinate of the point, you're going to have to go through and find y, and that's what step 1 says. If necessary, find the y value of your point by plugging your x into your original equation. And then we're going to try and find the slope at that point, which remember is your derivative. Let the calculator do the work. That will be your m. And then you're going to use either y equals mx plus b, or you're going to do y minus your y coordinate equals mx minus your x coordinate to finally get your b and figure out the final equation of the line. First, I want you to do 2 things. I want you to find the equation of a tangent line and then your normal line. So we're going to kind of split this in half, and we'll do part A over here and part B over here. So again, remember there's a couple things I need. I'm always going to need my slope, and I'm going to need my B. Okay? Feel free to do these whatever way you choose. When I go through these, I'm going to write down both ways to do each problem. So I'm actually going to do 4 problems here. But you do not have to write down all 4 in your notes. You just choose. Are you going to do the y equals mx plus b? Or are you going to do the y minus y coordinate, x minus x coordinate? You decide. So first off, they want me to find the equation of a tangent line. Okay, so I'm going to need the slope. In order to figure out the slope, I need to figure out the derivative at the value 2. So I'm going to let the calculator do the work for me. So I'm going to type in my calculator. $14. All right, so I know my slope is 14. Now what I'm going to choose to do is I like this y minus y coordinate because I like it because it's less work, but you don't have to do it that way. So I'm going to write y minus the y coordinate of my point. Let me just highlight some stuff here real quick. So y minus my y coordinate is 15. My m is 14. X minus my x coordinate is 2. Now I'm going to go through and distribute. And then I need to get y by itself, so I'm going to add 15 to both sides. And there's my equation of my tangent line. Now, if you didn't like that, plug in your y value, plug in your m, plug in your x, and start solving for b. And then finish by writing out your final answer. Y equals your m x plus b. So again, don't write down both these ways unless you're going to be going back and forth. Pick one and stick with it. Okay? I don't care which one. All right, so we've done that. Now let's move on to part B, normal lines. We talked about what this meant. A normal line means it's perpendicular. We've already done all that work and we figured out that this line tangent would be m equals 14, which means slope is 14. So then we need the perpendicular slope. So our slope is going to be negative 1/14. Okay, I'm going to like this one. So I'm going to go y minus the y coordinate, your slope, so now I'm going to distribute. 2/14 is 1/7. Add 15 to both sides. Here's a tangent line, and this would be the one we called a normal line, which is actually perpendicular to the tangent line. Okay, in case you didn't like that method, so my y, my m, my x. Okay, I'm going to distribute here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the adding the negative 1/7 by adding 1/7 to both sides. And then I'm going to write out my final answer. Y equals m x plus b. I want you to do the same thing here. I want you to do the tangent line first and then the normal line. Go ahead and pause the video and try it yourself and then come back and watch the video and watch me go through it and see if you get the correct answer. Alright, so we're going to need the slope, so I'm going to take the derivative and have the calculator do it for me. So the calculator is going to give me the derivative, which in essence is the slope. So go ahead and type all that in. And the calculator gives me 0.16 repeating, which you should know is 1/6. Alright, so now I know my slope is 1/6. And I know my coordinate is 5, ooh, what is my coordinate? What is my y value? You need to find it. So plug a 5 up here. 5 plus 4 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So you need to find the y value. Okay, so now we can do the problem. I'm going to stick to my way that I like. If you like to do it the other way, feel free, and we should get the same answer. Y minus 3 is my y coordinate. My slope is 1/6. My x coordinate's 5. Distribute. And now I have to get rid of this minus 3 by adding 3. Positive 3. Take away 5/6. There you go. Again, if you did y equals mx plus b, you should get the same answer. Okay, now let's do the normal line. Remember, the normal line means use a perpendicular slope. So instead of 1/6, it's going to be -6. And again, I'm going to choose this one because that's what I like. All right, the y coordinate is 3 again, but this time my slope is -6. My x coordinate, remember, was 5. Let's distribute. And then add 3 to both sides.